To the Grand Slam channel. Hope you're all having a great weekend. We got NFL tomorrow, Sunday, October 29th. Doing a bit of research late this evening on a Saturday. I was able to find 5 good props. Most of them will be on fantasy scores. I'm putting them in my slip now before any bumps occur. So let's get to it. My first one I'm going to go with is rushing attempts before I head on to fantasy scores. And I'm going to take Tyler, who's been cashing for us the past 3 weeks straight. I've been taking his rushing yards at 34.5. Obviously, he's been going over. I like this one a lot, but I think the other one is a more certainty that he's going to go over. Is his rushing attempts at 9.5. He's been averaging over 10. So either or are good, but I like his rushing attempts much better than his rushing yards. You can't go wrong with either or. But for this slip, I'll be taking his rushing attempts. Next up, we're going to head on over to fantasy scores, and this is where the bulk of the slip will be. And my first one will be Alvin Kamara, and I'll be taking his fantasy score at 16.5. I know many of the public are going with his receptions, receiving yards, or rushing yards. I mean, he's a full package, but I'm going to go with his fantasy score at 16.5. I think he should be around 18, 19 to be honest with you. He has a ceiling of over 30, but against the Colts, I think he's going to have a big game, and I think he's going to have over 20 fantasy points. So I'm going to take the over on that. His receptions is not bad at 5. You have push equity there. Next up I have is Christian Kirk, and I have him going over fantasy as well. He's at 11.5. I like this line a lot. I think this is one of the lines that's going to get bumped. So I'm taking the over on that. Next up for fantasy score is a one that's been cashing for us the past 2 weeks straight is Adam Thielen at 14.5. I like it. He has a ceiling of up to 30. As you can see, his past 5, he's been smashing this line. And he has a good matchup against the Texans. Even though money line, I am taking the Texans over Carolina, but I think Adam's gonna have a big game, so I'm taking the over on his fantasy. His receptions is not bad at 6. I do like to push equity, but I like his fantasy more. Next up for fantasy is AJ Brown. And I'm also taking his fantasy score. His receiving yards, 89.5. That's a lot of receiving yards. But as you can see, his past 5, he's been going well over 100. He's due for a bad game, even though he's having a fantastic season. Just for some reason, I don't know, I think a bad game is coming. I'm going to stay away from receiving yards. You can't go wrong with his receiving yards. I just feel he's maybe due for a bad game. So I'm going to go with this fantasy score at 17.5. I mean, he had almost a 40 against Washington. He might regress. He might be somewhere in the 20s, but I still think he's going to cover 17.5. So I'm taking the over on that. Those are the 5 props that I like. The strongest props I believe that's going to hit. Tyler Allgeier over rush attempts or rushing yards. Alvin Kamara, Christian Kirk, Adam Thielen, and AJ Brown all over fantasy score. Waiting for the last discounted score that PrizePicks has for tomorrow. Unfortunately, the one they had today didn't hit. So I might just take this slip, just a 5 slip, and put probably double what I usually put. Because those discounted props that PrizePicks has are not a guarantee. Usually they have like a 90-80% hit rate, just for the fact that I don't want them to mess up this slip. I'm very confident in this slip. So yeah, good luck, mix and match. Pick your favorite. Pick 1 or 2 props. All 5 of them are equally strong. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.